Hey, what's going on everybody? Alex here with Freedom Mowers. Today we are going to be working on one of my own personal mowers that I'm going to try to get up and ready for sale. It's been a while since I've had this thing going. This is my original lawn care mower. It is a 1995 belt drive Gravely Pro 36-inch cut. It's running the 12.5 horsepower Kawasaki, the FB 460V. Originally I had to do a valve job on this, and I did a carburetor, new blades, and that was a couple years ago. Right now it's been sitting for a while. It is crusty. I kind of rode it hard and put it up wet when I was using it, and it's kind of sat. So one of the last things that was going on with it is on this left wheel drive, one of the belts was starting to tear and separate, and I had a spare because I used to have a 50-inch belt drive as well, same basically machine. So I'm going to be trying to replace that drive wheel belt today, and really the first order of business is getting this thing cleaned up and seeing what's going on with it. I can't remember, it might need an oil change. Probably gonna have to just go through the carb on it. It did start this morning after about like 6 or 8 pulls on choke, and other than that I think the spindles were still good on it. I knew it had some newer blades, and yeah, pretty bare bones machine, old school 95. So I am gonna go ahead and start by getting this thing washed up, and then we'll get it pulled in the shop and see what it needs. And just like that, in 2 seconds. No, I'm just kidding. It took about 30 minutes to get this thing cleaned up. I went through and degreased everything, and it's looking pretty sharp now. It's not bad for a I don't know, almost 30-year-old commercial walk behind. So let me get this thing over to the shop and we'll get started. All right, well, we got this thing in the shop, and I'm really hoping that is the right size belt. I'm like 99% sure that's the one I had taken off my old one. Normally when you do these, you want to change your belts as a pair. Normally they're sold as a pair, since they usually wear evenly. And once you have like one that has a stretch to it, you don't want to put a brand new one on. You want to put 2 new ones at the same time. This should be pretty easy. We should just be able to take this cover plate off. There's just 2 nuts on the outside, and just have to hold the stud. We'll get that cover plate off. I need to get a jack stand underneath. That way we can at least get the wheel off high enough off the ground where I can slip the belt, and then I should just be able to take the tension off from the belt and slide it under, and that should be pretty much about it with that. To adjust these, to get the mower to track straight and to get the right tension, normally you would just take this cotter pin out, and you can pull this rod and you can lengthen it or shorten it depending on what you need to do. But that's how you adjust these belt drive walk behinds to get it to track straight. So let me get some tools out. We'll get this cover plate off and see if we get this belt swapped real quick. All right, I've got this thing on a jack stand, so should be 9/16 on both sides of this. If I can get the wrenches the right way. So just gonna keep the studs in there with the washers and everything. Just move the plate. I'm gonna go ahead and lock the handlebar in position here, and hopefully this will give us enough room here to pretty much just slip this belt out. I don't know know if it's gonna clear this or not. I'll put that washer back on. And then that's the bottom washer. So be our bottom and our top. Just trying to keep this organized here. So yeah, here's where that big split was. You guys can see. And it was also starting to trying to do this one-handed, but it's basically starting to separate on the tread. So, and this, yeah, real bad here on the other side too. It's just basically the little cogs on here are starting to separate from the main part of the belt. And then our other one is in much better shape. Everything looks good. I mean, it's a little bit older belt, but it should do the same. So it should just be able to slip that right over. Trying to do this all one-handed, show you guys. Get that under, and then see if we can just get this. Let me set you guys down for a sec. Should be able to see. And there we go. So now we should have, yeah, they both feel pretty even tension. I think the other one still had a little bit of kind of shape to it, but those should be pretty good right there. It does look a little off here on the back side, but we'll double check everything. Like I said, that's why I say you should change it as a pair. I don't really think it's going to cause any kind of a driving issue, but we'll double check everything. That's pretty much it. I mean, like I said, it's relatively simple. It's just getting that wheel off the ground enough and then just getting some slack in the belt. But I will go ahead and pop the cover back on real quick, and then we'll move over to the carburetor on here. And so, like I said earlier in the video, I did replace the carburetor on this at one point, and it has been sitting. Honestly, it's got to be about 8 months or so since I put fresh gas in this. So we're going to take a look, see what it looks like in the float bowl. I have the fuel turned off, and I checked it because I thought it was going to be metric, but it looks like the 1/2 inch on this fits really snug. So we'll go ahead and pop this bowl off from here. I've got a little container. It's getting a bit yucky in there. I'll show you guys. There's some kind of sludge down there at the bottom. Just trying to see if there was any water that had gotten in here. Gotta wait for it to settle a little bit. Look from the side. Yeah, there's a small dark spot in there. The fuel was kind of cloudy, but so there was a little bit of moisture in there. Let me just squirt some cleaner in there, clean out this bowl real quick, and I'll show you guys putting this back together, and we'll see how easily it'll start. As long as it starts on first or second pull, I'm good with that. Obviously no surging or anything, so let me get this cleaned up real quick. I'm just gonna shoot up the main jet on this, and we'll go from there. All right, and I have gone up on the main portion of the jet there, and I've got this as clean as I can get it. There was still a little pitting in the bottom, but I was going to show you guys, I actually have the original Mikuni that was on here, and so this is the way this is oriented on here right now. There is a pilot here in the back, as well as a air fuel mix screw. So if I need to, I will you'll basically have to pull the 2 bolts and then the air filter housing bottom basically off, and then you can just get access to those. But we're gonna try and see if just a quick and dirty will work, because it did fire up relatively easy after getting it initially started. So yeah, basically just gonna bolt this back up, and we'll give it a few pulls and see if it cranks up. All right, I've got the bowl back on there. I'm gonna turn the fuel back on and just make sure that the O-ring is sealed around the bowl here and around the nut. I'll give it a minute here. I did want to show you guys too. This was a brand new filter as of last year with the pre-filter on it, and there's basically nothing on it, so that filter's pretty much brand new. I don't feel any leaks here, so let me get this button back up real quick. I'll get the cover back on and get the jack stand out, and we'll see if this thing will fire up pretty easy. All right, got you guys set up there. Had to give myself a little bit of pull room here on this pull rope. So fuel's on, parking brakes are on, ignition on, all the way forward is choke. So we'll see. Well, sweet. Started up first pull. I did want to mention to you guys that there was only a little bit of fuel left in the bottom of the tank, so I just went ahead and added some more fresh fuel to it, and I put some stabilizer in there as well. And yeah, so I guess next step is, let me pull this thing outside and we'll check that drive system on here and make sure that it's going to drive the way it should. But quick and dirty on the carb. Let me double check, make sure we don't have any leaks one more time. We're good on that so far. Yeah, it's crazy what a little bit of a bath, quick and dirty on the carb, and having a extra belt on hand will do. Yep. All right, well, I got you guys on the chest cam, so shouldn't need to choke it, but we'll go ahead and give it a test. Belt looks like it's holding on track the way it should, steering the way it should. Just check to see if it's going to track straight. It does pull just a hair to the right, and I think it always did. We'll go ahead and cut the mower deck on, check everything over. Looks like everything is working good as it should on here. I need to check the air pressure in that Velke tire. Check one more time on this. It's dry. I did check the oil earlier. Oil was still good. I know I did an oil change at the beginning of the season. I did not use this that much last year. It was kind of my backup. So a lot of the stuff, like I showed you guys, the air filter, oil was still good on it. I do need to check these blades. Yeah, the blades are almost brand new. I could put a little edge on it, but they are almost brand new. I mean, the lift has nothing on it. You can still see the marks from where these were originally sharpened from the manufacturer. It did seem like it was pulling a little bit to the right. So I will see if I need to make some minor adjustments, maybe a turn or two out on the left side, maybe to put some more tension on it, or the right side. I'll just have to see which one. Other than that, I think that this thing is basically ready to go. There's a lot of different points on here that need greased. Everything I did last year, I mean, I went through this whole machine. The grease certs on the wheel bearings, on the axle that goes through for it to spin. There's some on the rear. There is grease fittings on the shafts that go into the transmission, the output shafts basically. And other than that, I know the belts were still good on it, so this should be in pretty good rig. All right, well, I hope you guys enjoyed checking out this old dinosaur of a commercial walk behind. This 1995 has served me well, and it looks like it's going to be ready to make someone else some money soon. You know, just the dry belt on there today. I wanted to show you guys. Normally change those as a pair if you're getting a new set, and the quick and dirty on the carb made it happen. I don't really see any need to go any farther with that fresh gas mixing in and everything too, and the stabilizer shouldn't have any issue. Other than that, I mean, it's looking good and should serve somebody for a few more years. I mean, it's got everything it needs. And I really appreciate you guys tuning in and checking out the channel. I got a ton more content. I'm trying to pick what I'm going to work on next, because I have so many projects that I want to share with you guys. So stay tuned, and thank you guys so much. We're almost at 500 subscribers, and I really appreciate it. So on that note, let freedom ring, let those small engines sing. I'll see you all next time.